Hi, welcome to This Week in Ames. I'm Susan Guiasta. On today's show, we check in with the Ames Historical Society. My guest today is Casey Vance, Executive Director of the Ames Historical Society. Casey, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, this is an exciting year for the city of Ames. This is the Sesquicentennial Year. Do you want to talk a little bit about what the Sesquicentennial Year represents?
It is really exciting. In 1864, John Endsley Blair platted the city of Ames on December 17th. And so this year is all about the 150th anniversary of that.
And platting, that's kind of an interesting word. Not everybody knows what it is. It's kind of a city planning word.
Yep, so basically it means that he had an engineer draw out the first 12 blocks of the town. So it was the first time it was mapped out. Yep.
And where are the first 12 blocks of Ames?
They go from the railroad at the south to halfway between 7th and 8th Street, and then from Duff Avenue at the east to Burnett at the west.
Maybe not really what people would think. You sort of think the town would grow up along Main Street, but that really isn't true.
Right.
Lots of events have happened throughout the year. Sort of give me a year in review. It's been a really exciting time for the community.
Well, first we kicked off with the Chamber of Commerce annual dinner in January. And so that kind of had a historical theme, and so that was a good kickoff. And then the next event was the 4th of July, and that was a 3-day event, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
That was really amazing.
It was.
So much going on.
Yeah, and so many people attended. It was really successful, and great weather too. And then on September 26th was Dinky Day in Campus Town, and that really celebrated the connection between Iowa State and downtown Ames.
A lot of people might not realize that the Dinky was a small steam train.
Yep. And it ran between downtown and campus for about 20 years at the turn of the century.
And that was basically transporting students?
Yep, students, professors, visitors to campus. And it was really the best way to get between the two. There were about 2 miles of farmland separating those two areas then. And so, yeah, it was just, otherwise you'd have to go on dirt roads, which were often muddy.
So it's funny, we think now as sort of the campus being central Ames and the city sort of growing up around it, but what you're saying is really that the town and the university were separate.
Yeah, they were completely separate at the beginning, and the university was annexed by the city in 1893, but even then there was still land separating the two. So.
Wow, our community has really grown, obviously, in 150 years.
Yep.
So that was September, and now we're getting towards the end of the year, and what do you have planned?
Well, Platting Day will be on December 17th, which, as I said, is the actual 150th anniversary of the day the first 12 blocks were mapped out. And we'll have several events that day. At 11:45 a.m., there will be a ceremony on the corner of Douglas and 5th, downtown, right in the first 12 blocks. And at that ceremony, we'll dedicate a time capsule, which will be opened in 50 years at the Bicentennial.
Wow, that's exciting. And so this will happen outside?
Yes, there will be a tent with heaters, and hopefully it won't be snowing or anything. We do have a snow location, so if it is too bad of weather, we will take the ceremony inside to the library.
Library right there on the corner of 5th and Douglas at 515 Douglas. So 11:45, you're going to dedicate the time capsule. Everybody's invited.
Yep, everybody in the community. And then following that from noon to 1, we'll have cookies and coffee and warm drinks on the 4 organizations on the corner there, which includes Ames Funeral Home, Ames Historical Society, the Octagon Center for the Arts, and the Public Library.
Wow, a lot of history right in that corner.
Yep, a lot of historical organizations. And then during that time also, there will be trolley rides around the first 12 blocks, so people can do that.
Wow, so you can just hop on a trolley and sort of tour the 12 blocks, maybe over your lunch hour, grab some cookies, and really sort of immerse yourself in the history of the area. That's really exciting. Other things going on throughout the day?
The other event is in the evening from 5 to 6:30. There will be a progressive reception from starting at Ames Historical Society, and then you walk 1 block to the Youth and Shelter Services building, and then the next stop is the Ames Tribune, and then at 6:30 there will be a ceremony at City Auditorium.
So you're sort of following right along 5th Street?
Yep. And each stop will have a certain amount of Ames history information. So you're kind of going through Ames history through the last 150 years as you go along. And there will also be appetizers and hot drinks again. So, and then at City Auditorium, there will be a few speakers from the community talking about the future and birthday cake.
Wow, and are there tickets for this event?
Nope, it's completely free and no RSVP or anything, just show up.
Is it adults only?
Nope, all families are welcome. And
wow, this keeps getting better and better. So that begins at 5.
Yep, 5 to 6:30 for the first 3 stops, and then 6:30 there will be the thing at City Auditorium.
And you mentioned that they sort of go in historical order. Can you mix up the order?
You can, yep, no problem. But if you want to get the whole 150 years experience, you could start at the Historical Society.
And then you want to end at City Hall.
Yep, and if you park near City Hall, there's a shuttle that will take you from City Hall to the first stop at the Historical Society. So then you're just basically walking 1 block in between each.
Wow, that's really interesting. And those locations you mentioned, the Historical Society, then the Youth and Shelter Services building, formerly a fire station, a historical building within itself, celebrated, I think, its 100th anniversary recently.
Yep. And then, of course, the Tribune is historically significant to the community also.
So. Yeah. So, and then City Hall,
yep.
which in 2015 will celebrate its 25th anniversary as a City Hall, but the building was built in the 1930s. A lot of history there as well with its building as a high school.
Yep.
Well, lots of different things are going on. It's really been an exciting year. Have you learned anything through this past year?
Yeah, a lot. I'm really interested in that early history of Ames, and so it's been really great to learn all of that and really know about who platted the town, who designed the first 12 blocks, all of that. And I hope that everybody in the community has learned a lot of Ames history this year also.
One of the things that has come out of this whole year has been a mobile history trailer for the Ames Historical Society. I think that trailer's already gotten some use.
Yep, we've taken it to a few 3rd grade classrooms. We tie into the 3rd grade curriculum by doing an Ames history presentation there. So it's been really helpful to help us transport our artifacts to the schools, and we're really looking forward to using it more in 2015.
And the other, basically, what they call the Legacy Project, has been the 150 trees for Ames, which have all been planted and are located all over the community. That program apparently is going to continue on.
Yeah, that'll be fantastic.
The other thing that I wanted to just get a status report on is the John Endsley Blair portrait.
Yes, this year the Ames Historical Society restored our portrait of John Endsley Blair, the founder of Ames. It's a 3/4 life size, so it's pretty big. It has a gilt gesso frame that was made in Paris. So the frame and the portrait are both really good historical artifacts, and we had them restored at the Midwest Art Conservation Center in Minneapolis. And they are back now and hanging in the Chamber of Commerce.
So basically on loan, a temporary location there.
So you can stop by the Chamber of Commerce and see them there.
And for those who don't remember, the Chamber of Commerce has relocated and is located on Main Street and basically in a completely restored interior. Really kind of a nice space, lots of light and air, and really worth stopping in. They do tend to have artwork that rotates through some galleries in there.
Yep.
Well, Casey, so much going on. It sounds like it's been a tremendously busy year for you. I know you've had a lot of help with volunteers. How many people do you think have worked on this Ames 150?
Oh, a lot. Probably a couple hundred, I would say, between all the committees and all the volunteers that helped out at the events.
Well, I'm thinking 4th of July alone probably had 100 volunteers, and we've seen all ages. Which has been really great for everybody to come together and support the community. Obviously, people really care about this community. I hope you have a great turnout December 17th. It was so nice of you to stop by.
Thanks.
If you want more information about the Platting Day event or any of the Sesquicentennial events that have happened in 2014, look at the website at ames150.com. Also, if you need information about any City of Ames programs or services, check our website out at cityofames.org or our Facebook or Twitter pages. Well, that's our show for today. Thanks for watching, and tune in next week for This Week in Ames.